So you finished talking about East, and I got a couple thoughts on that game. But I want to hear about the first game briefly, and then talk about that lead into Week 12. The first East game, and then leading into Week 12, the playoff game.
The first East game, I think, as much as we preached, we took them for granted. And once it turned into a game, once early, it was a close game, and it was anybody's game to add. I mean, we had success moving the ball. We had success stopping them. As a matter of fact, we were going to win, and we were down. I want to say 4 or something. We were marching. We had a great drive going, and we got down to the 8 or the 6, and we fumbled, and it turned into a 12-point swing because they picked up the fumble and went 97 yards for a touchdown or thereabouts. The right kid, I believe, which was a transfer from Camel.
Okay.
And that was a 12-point swing. And then we still ended up having an opportunity to come back. In the waning minute of the game, we had 3 throws to the end zone from like the 10 or 12, and we just didn't connect. And we moved the ball down the field with just throwing quick screen.
So what's the mentality? I mean, I know you, so I can imagine what the mentality was, but, what's that week of practice? What's the prep like? Are you thinking about anything new for them the second week? I'm sure you've obviously changed a little bit as you get better and develop like teams do. What were you prepping for in that second matchup?
Well, we were thinking that, hey, we moved the football and we stopped them, and we're going to do what we do. The difference, the different factor in the game was that they stopped. It was 7 years in a row we were city champions, and they took that away, and that was, I think everybody was kind of oblivious to the playoffs at that point. It was like we get a chance to redeem our sins, if you will, and that was the mindset that I believe the coaching staff and the kids had approaching that game. We let one get away from us. Okay, we had every opportunity to take control of the first game. We knew they were an up-and-coming program with a great staff and great personnel, but we let it get away, and that was our mindset, that we let that game get away from us. And if we had any aspirations of being any kind of sectional champion or regional champion or state champion, that it went through East.
Yeah. So, watching that game, a couple things popped off to me. I felt like, when you watch a game and you're just kind of watching it through, on film, it's tough to get a feel for the physicality.
Yeah.
Right, on film. It's tough to get a feel for the emotion in a game. And circling back to when I was watching Minerva, nothing really jumped out other than the big plays, right? But a couple of things jumped out to me. The emotion of that game came through on the film, on both sides, right? And the physicality came through, which you don't typically see. And I dare I say, That was probably the best coached, other than teams that I've been part of coaching or with you, the best coached city team I've seen. From
East?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were from just how their offensive line lined up, how they came off the ball, the blocking schemes they were running, the ability to throw the ball a little bit, sustain drives. You kind of got a feel of what they were trying to do and sticking with it, and then throwing some wrinkles off of it. That was a very good football team.
Mark Lydon did a phenomenal job. Had great personnel.
Sure.
But he started the way it needed to start.
Yeah.
He got him buying into the weight room.
Yeah.
And he got him believing. And they had a phenomenal year. And they jumped on us early in that playoff game. They fumbled 2 times going into the end zone.
Well, yeah. So the first series, they just marched down the field, throwing the ball, running the ball, looking sharp, and score.
Yeah.
Right. So it's 6-0. Then, and there's 8 turnovers total in that game.
Yeah.
On both sides. Then they're going in to score a second time, and I think I forget who. I think Aaron Robbins causes the first one going in. Who he ends up having a game. He has a couple sacks, and the quarterbacks, they run a little follow play. Quarterback goes in, Nate Logan, I believe, and fumbles. Right, you guys recover. You score. Then the second one, they're going in to score again on an exchange to the fullback, fumbles. But here again, I mean, just the mix of guys that are contributing with, Ollie Hightower scoring, being able to throw the ball with Antoine, making plays, Anthony making catches, and guys contributing. Just another great physical game.
Yeah, and the second half, also Antoine introduced his feet to helping us. Not that he hadn't before, but he made a couple big plays running the football.
He did, and it's there was a couple times where even in the Minerva game, fumbles a snap because of the weather, right? Exchange is tough, and he gets a first down. Just creates, makes another pass. I saw him on defense at outside linebacker. Right. But in passing situation.
Yeah.
What was that conversation like?
Well, normally we would, he would be defensively, he would be talking to me. He'd be on the sideline. We'd be conferring. But I think we had some injury or something that prompted him having to be used as an outside linebacker.
Yeah, and I think there was just one or two plays where I saw it, where I picked up on him. Seemed like in a little bit of passing situations. So how did you feel about redeeming that initial loss from the city championship?
Well, there were 2 factors in that game at the beginning. One, they opened up the bleachers behind us.
Right.
And there that
on the visitor side.
Yeah. And that was all our people, and they were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great shot in the arm for our kids. And also at the beginning of the game, or it was at halftime, or I want to say at the beginning, somebody from East broke into the press box, the PA announcer.
Yeah.
And start, I don't know.
So I was talking to Doe about that actually before you came in. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
as you're coaching the game?
Yeah. We did. So,
What was
I don't remember what the exact dialogue was, but it was pro East and anti-Chaney.
Sure. Did you have any thoughts on that during the game, or just
No. I just thought it was some yin yang that ventured into the sound booth. But at halftime, it was an easy discussion. It was, we know what we have to do and to stop them, and we know we've showed that we can move the football. We just need to go out and execute, and they did. We took control of the game in the second half.
Yeah, there's another Antoine. I think it's the second half. Antoine throws an interception, big hit. Bogusevich recovers, right? So there's a couple themes throughout this. Somebody on staff is living right, because there's a lot of times in games where the ball can bounce one way or another, and it's not luck, right? You're playing hard, you're in the right position, but there's a number of times where the ball bounces the right way.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I noticed throughout this whole run was that there's not a lot of self-inflicted wounds, right? There's not turnovers.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of penalties, right? No big plays. And how many times you see a big play and there's a holding call?
Yeah.
Or there's defensive plays. I mean, you guys, like I think you said it when we were talking previously, you just peaked and playing just really good football.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, and knowing that they were 37 strong. I mean, that's how many kids we had.
Yeah.
And we're lining up against programs. East, and East probably had 60.
Yeah.
Minerva, the same at least. And then when you get into Walsh and DeSales, that DeSales dressed 105 kids, I believe, to our 37. But again, they rallied around that. I mean, it was like, hey, we got to do what we got to do, and they picked each other up and played their best football down the stretch.
Yeah, and that's where, here's another name, right? You got Aaron Robbins has a couple sacks, one timely at the end of the game, causes a fumble, and at that point, that's where you kind of start locking the game up, right? The momentum turns.
Yeah, the Cats, and I'm not mentioning many names. I know I've said Anthony and Antoine, but I mean the cast of characters that we had, from Bill Ciccarelli to Fuller and Harris and Dan Lynn, Craig Lynn, just a great group, and Carmen Farina.
Yeah.
Just a great group, and Bill Bogusevich is. If there was a better football player that came out of Chaney, and I'm talking about football player, I'm saying better. He was just a good football player.
Yeah. Just 160. He was listed as 5'8", 160. I know how those rosters go.
Yeah.
Was he 160 or
he was probably 160.
Yeah.
He was probably 160.